If you're tired of the same old when it comes to tourist attractions, and you happen to have a taste for all things spooky, then it looks like this video is just for you. Keep on watching to learn which places to visit if you love a good scare. But beware, this list is not for the faint of heart. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and ring the bell icon to join us on the bright side. Now, back to the creepy stuff. The Lome Bazaar. You wouldn't think that an outdoor market that's open to the public could be scary, but it all depends on what sort of merchandise is available. Looking for a goat's head, a live monkey, or an alligator skull? The Akadesawa Fetish Market in Lome, Togo, on the continent of Africa, probably has it. If you want to practice voodoo or dip your toe into black magic, they say this is the place to go. But it's not meant for just the dark arts. Visitors also head there if traditional medicine hasn't worked out and they want to try a more alternative approach. They'll head there to cure infertility, the flu, or the run-of-the-mill black curse their neighbors inflicted because of their barking dog. You know, just regular stuff. Miyake-jima. How would you feel if you saw a whole town of people wearing gas masks? To the residents of Miyake-jima, Japan, this is a totally normal occurrence. But to outsiders, the sight can be outright terrifying. Each resident is required to carry a gas mask in case Mount Oyama, the active volcano that stands right in the center of the island, erupts. In June 2000, the volcano started releasing so much toxic gas that people had to evacuate. They were allowed to return 5 years later, but they need to have their gas mask handy because the volcano continues to spout out sulfuric acid regularly. So, if you want to feel the thrill of being near an active volcano, and you want to set eyes on what looks like some scene straight out of a post-apocalyptic movie, then this is the place for you. The Screaming Tunnel. This seemingly normal tunnel near Niagara Falls, Canada, is said to be the site of a terrible tragedy. The stories vary on what happened and why, but they all involve a girl perishing in the tunnel and screaming. It's said that the ghost of the unknown girl now lives there, and that if you head into the tunnel in the middle of the night and light a match, you'll hear her scream. So she just wants to, bum a cigarette? Well, would you dare enter the Screaming Tunnel? The Island of the Dolls. If you love cute little dolls and you want to continue thinking of them with affection instead of terror, you should probably stay away from this next place. In Mexico, between the canals of Xochimilco, you'll find La Isla de las Muñecas, or the Island of the Dolls, where there are hundreds of dolls hanging from trees. Legend has it that a man who lived on the island saw a drowned girl floating in the water. When he later found a doll floating on the water, thinking it belonged to the girl, he put it up in a tree as a sign of respect. The man was haunted by the girl's ghost, so he put up hundreds of dolls to please her spirit. Ah, the more the merrier. Though he didn't mean any harm, the island is now covered with creepy dolls in various states of deterioration that greet visitors each year. Ooh, Dolly Rotten. Craco. It looks quite pretty from afar, but when you get a little closer to the Italian village of Craco, you start to see there's something seriously wrong. This town is completely abandoned. The village was founded in the 8th century and thrived for a long time. But natural disasters like earthquakes and landslides eventually made it unlivable. The buildings have been deteriorating over time with no one to tend to them. Walking through the empty streets of this ghost town can be haunting yet fascinating at the same time. Snake Island. You've heard of snakes on a plane, but what about an island that's chock full of them? Only Snake Island is no work of fiction. It's an actual island that's located off the coast of Brazil. There are hundreds of thousands of snakes on this island, but the scariest one comes from the pit viper species. I'm talking about the golden lancehead, and its poison is so powerful that it actually melts the flesh around the bite. Oh yeah, let's all go there. Locals in the nearby coastal towns love to tell gruesome stories of what happens to people who set foot on the island. One is about a fisherman who wandered into the island to pick bananas. Another involves a lighthouse operator who got bitten when a snake crept into his home. Spoiler alert, both stories end, well, just guess. If you have the same fear of snakes as Indiana Jones, this could be your worst nightmare. Bran Castle. What could be creepier than the presumed home of the blood-sucking king of all vampires, Dracula himself? Well, it isn't Dracula's castle per se, but the castle was the home of Vlad the Impaler, who was the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. Bran Castle, or Dracula's Castle, as it's called colloquially, is in the southeastern part of Transylvania, Romania. The castle is now a museum, but all the ancient weapons, stories of Vlad's bloodthirsty activities, accounts of creepy sounds, and the underground passages make the castle a sinister place to all who visit. Hashima Island. If you ever want to feel like the last person on the planet, just head to Hashima Island in Japan. This island looks like something out of a dystopian world. In the early 1900s, Mitsubishi Corporation had a city, complete with entire buildings, roads, schools, restaurants, you name it, built on the island so that they could mine for coal there. The miners and their families lived comfortably on the island until the coal ran out. Mitsubishi left, and everyone packed up and followed suit. Hashima Island is now a ghost town, quite literally according to the legend. Besides being deserted, nothing awful really happened there. But there are still plenty of stories claiming that ghosts roam the streets, and that you can hear murmurs and whispers even when you're alone. Hey, and then you can take your vacation in the Italian village of Craco, and you'll feel right at home, all by yourself. The Village of Dolls. Again with the creepy dolls. Well, the other one was the Island of the Dolls, remember? Well, here we go. In Nagoro, Japan, you'll find all kinds of dolls that are so big and lifelike that it's hard not to get the heebie-jeebies. If you were to head there completely unaware of its history, and you get lost, you might walk up to a person on the street only to discover they're a doll. With your heart pounding out of your chest, you'd look around to see that there aren't any people, just lifeless dolls staring blankly back at you. When artist Ayano Tsukimi came back home to Nagoro, she noticed so many of the people she grew up with had either left or passed away. So she got an idea to make a doll out of each and every one. There are dolls everywhere. There are those who are fishing, some are alone, and others in a group. There are doll children sitting in school, and elderly dolls relaxing on porches. At this point, the village houses way more dolls than people, with a human population of about 40 and a doll population of 350 and growing. Tsukimi's efforts may seem creepy to some, but they can also be considered fascinating and really sweet to others. Parikkala Sculpture Park. Located in Finland, Parikkala Sculpture Park is home to some really lovely sculptures and some downright terrifying ones. Go for a visit if you want to say "aww" one minute and scream in fear the next. There are nearly 500 concrete figurines that were all created by a reclusive artist named Veijo Ronkainen. What was going through his head when he created them? Only he knows. But whatever it was, it's left a lasting impression on the tens of thousands of tourists who visit the park each year. Many of the sculptures show people going about their daily activities. There are also some nice kitties, and you'll even find some cute owls. Oh yeah, and some of the sculptures have real human teeth. The creepy factor increases since the human figurines usually have tiny pupils, sunken eyes or no eyes, and mouths open in a sinister smile. So tell us, Brightsiders, What's the scariest place you've ever visited? Let us know down in the comments. Me? It's usually the men's room at some gas station. Don't forget to give this video a like, share it with your friends, and click subscribe to stay on the bright side of life.